What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are playing on another track that was released as soon as I went away for a long weekend, typically. The track is Razzylvania, and it was rather adequately named by Razzles126 on the MX Bikes Mods website. The only thing I really know about this track is it's, I think it was Vox who left a comment on it saying it gives off almost like a Pro National feel. And just having a look and sitting here and kind of looking off into the distance with the elevation and such, I'm going to have to agree with him. I'm not going to judge too much on the off-track and objects and such because Razzles has gone out of his way and said in the post that he's not gone too overboard with the objects and such around the track just to help with lower-end PC performance, which is nice to see. People caring about the players with the lower spec PC. So I think I'm like middle of the range. My PC's nothing special, but definitely due an upgrade at some point. It's something that's been playing on my mind that I'm very tempted to do. More so to help me with productivity more than anything. So this video that you're watching now, it'll probably end up being something like 12 minutes-ish, around that mark. And that will literally take me about an hour to render just by itself. And I can't do anything else on my PC whilst that's rendering because it's such an intensive process on my computer. So I'd love to get a computer at some point where I could render and like play more and record more at the same time. That would just be the dream. But we shall see what the future holds in that regards. Now, from what I can see in the description of this track as well, he has said that this track does have some rough and some ruts that will force you to slow down in corners. And he said sometimes slower is faster. So if you know me, you know that sounds like that's right up my alley. I really do enjoy the rough tracks on this game. Being a bit of an enduro fan myself, and I like when we do these really long races on the tracks that get really rough when the road kicks in, and I'm not really too sure what to expect other than that. Of course, as usual, I've done a lap just to make sure I know where I'm going, make sure there's no issues with the track or anything, and all seems good so far. The timing gates seems to be working absolutely perfectly, no issues with those, so that's a huge plus. And that was the finish line I've just hit here, and he said that that time should be about 2 minutes, so I'll see how I do. I'm on the Husky 252 stroke today, so bit of a not one of my most ridden bikes. The 252 strokes I do sleep on a bit. I definitely ride the 125s more than the 250s in this game. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just due to sound or feel or whatever, but I never feel like I flow very well on the 252 strokes in this game. I don't know if that is just where I haven't put enough time into them or what, but definitely something that I can improve at. I mean, we've all got things that we can improve at, and that's I think that's my bit. I think maybe the thing is that there's never really any 252 stroke races on this game. You always get the odd 125 fun race every now and then. Then other than that, you've got the 254 stroke races and the 450 races. Now, I don't really know of any track on this game where, well, obviously you can ride the 252 stroke in the 450 races. I don't know of any track on this game where the 250 would actually have an advantage. There's some tracks where the 254 strokes have an advantage just when it comes to the tighter turning, but I don't really see anywhere where the two-stroke really shines. Now, oddly enough, the only actual Nationals overall win that I've got to date was on a 125 in the 250 class, and that was Maryland / Budds Creek, if we want to go off the real name. And I was always tempted to see if I could do it the other way around, like in the 450 class where I ride now on a 252 stroke, but there's just never been any track where I feel confident enough, and the competition in that class at the moment is just insane. People like Rum and Hubchap and Reese, for example. The list goes on. We've got Moreno, we've got Aiden, we've got Cole. I'm 100% going to miss someone out, which I do apologise for. They all 100% comment saying what about me, and I do apologise. I just draw in a blank at the moment. But yeah, the competition in there is so high that you kind of want to be riding the best bike that you can to give yourself the best chance of doing well. And at the moment, I'm only kind of like a 3rd to 5th place guy at best right now. Definitely not riding as good as I can do, but I think that's just due to not as much 450 time as I did 250 time. And the only reason that I'm doing 450s actually is because of the day that it's on. I could do most of the races because they were on a Thursday for me, whereas when they're on a Friday, I do actually have to end up missing quite a few. So it is what it is. I'm just enjoying my game time at the moment. I'm not treating it too competitively. I'm just trying to have a nice time with it. And yeah, good stuff really. I mean, really enjoying these tracks that are coming out. And today I've recorded 2 videos today. I recorded the video that you would have seen yesterday if you watched it on the 316 compound, and I'm also obviously playing this track. And this is the first time playing bikes for me in was it 4 or 5 days now? Business as usual for you guys, no change at all. I pre-recorded a bunch of videos before I went away, but it's just for me right now, just trying to find a little bit of a flow again. And where I do have these long weekends away once a month, it's nice getting back to the game, because I don't feel like I burn myself out where I take these breaks in between, and it's just really nice. I always feel like my flow is way off when I first get back on, but it doesn't take too long to get back into it. You know, Bikes is one of them games. I think once you've got the hang of it and you've got the skill level, then it doesn't matter really how long away you are for. It's one of them that's very easy to pick back up, unless, for example, you go and play another game like Sim, where again it's a motorbike game, but it's completely different as far as controls go, so your muscle memory disappears. I always find it hard switching between those two. I always make the statement of I could never be really good at both. I can either be good at one and bad at the other, or just average at both. And I feel like at the moment, I definitely lean more towards Bikes, just because it's more casual for me. It's definitely not as hard of a game in general. The learning curve isn't quite as steep, and I think I'm in a good position to make that statement. I've almost got 1,000 hours on Bikes now, and on Sim, although there's no counter, I think I played it almost every day for about 5 years, so probably somewhere in the region of 3,000-4,000 hours maybe overall. And I'm just going to spin around. I want to see if it's possible to downside that inside roller. I feel like it might be. I just got to hope that the tyres on the inside don't have collisions, because there's a very high chance that I don't actually land on the track. Let's spin it around here. Just need to try and get a good run through these rollers as well. That wasn't terrible. Let's see if I can send it. Oh god, yeah, jumped way too far there. Okay. I love the little puff of smokes that 250s give as well. I love those little attentions to detail that the bike creators have put in here. One thing that I am very excited for is the release of the Beta 16 OEM bikes. I know Insane and the rest of the crew are working very hard on getting that all together, and trying to be as patient as possible. I'm hoping we will get it in the coming months or so. I'd love to go through each bike and each class and really just give them a good couple hours each to see which I like. Because those of you know, I'm a massive Yamaha fan, just because that's what I ride in real life. And obviously, in real life at the moment, they're kind of kicking ass with the titles as well. Almost 250 that is. Sorry, I'm leaning more towards the 450 there. But in game at the moment, the Yams just aren't that great. They're okay. They look good. They certainly sound good. But to me, they don't really compete with the other bikes. In the 250 class, for example, I feel like the Kawi and the Honda are much better. In 450s, again, I feel like the Honda's really good, the KTM's really good, and the Yamaha does get slept on a little bit. So I'm hoping that the Yamaha will actually closer represent how good it is in real life. Now, my Yamaha in real life is just as standard as it comes. I've done nothing to it, kind of engine-wise or suspension-wise, anything like that. The only things I add on is just those bits that make the bike kind of last a bit longer at all, like stone guards, for example, and you get the just frame guards and all that stuff that kind of just protects the bike long term. And I know a lot of tracks in the UK, it may not be the same in America, it depends where you're from. A lot of the tracks in the UK do end up being quite stony and rocky, so easy just to flick a stone up and just ruin your bike very quickly. You can roll it off the showroom floor one day, turn up to a track the next day, and it's just chips everywhere. So there's always a few things that I buy for my bike as soon as I get them, just to make it last as long as possible. And that's something that's made it last even longer, is the fact that I've barely ridden it. So I'm hoping I get to ride more come summertime. We'll survive this winter and see what summer holds for me. I've got one friend that I can go out and can drive me about to tracks. I don't have a van for myself. In the UK, it's I mean, I'm an accountant by day. Can you imagine me rolling up into the office in just in a massive van? I think that'd be a bit out of place. I'm not even sure the parking spaces would let me fit in there. I feel like, again, sorry, I've gone on like a massive. Oh, survive. Hello, there we go. Okay, that worked out fine. I feel like I've gone on a massive tangent here, not really talking about the track at all, which I do apologise for. I mean, I guess you can see by watching me play right here, there's not been any like massive issues apart from that one like double backflip 720, whatever it is that Boso wants to call it, which speaks volumes about just how easy the track's not like super easy, but it feels like it flows well, and there's a lot of thought put into how different parts of the track link together. Size in the jumps I think is perfect. There's nothing that I'm majorly OJing or massively under jumping, and obviously the 252 stroke, it's not the most obscenely powerful of bikes, so it's not like I'm riding a 450 and just getting over everything barely. So yeah, all in all, really, really good. One thing that I've spotted on this track that I don't think many other tracks do, which I actually really like, I wish more would implement it. I will show you as soon as... Actually, my bike's going to roll all the way over and show you right here. The landing of this jump right here. These ruts on the landing, you very, very rarely see that. We always get ruts on the takeoff of jumps and bumps into the corners and such, but you very rarely see ruts on the landing of jumps like this, where it does actually matter where you land. If I was to land slightly sideways, a lot of the time you can kind of get away with it, but if I was to land slightly sideways on this, for example, there's a very, very high chance that you're just going to eat the dirt. And I love stuff like that. I love seeing something new in tracks, and definitely I would love to see that in more tracks. And one thing that I'm noticing on this track as well, with the ruts on the takeoff of the jumps, is there's some places where hitting the low part of the jump is good, because obviously it stays low, saves you more time. But there was one double, I'm going to ride around and see if I can pick it out. But if you hit the low spot of the takeoff of the double, you can't actually get all the way over the landing. And I just think that's something else that's just really, really good and well thought out. I think is it this one here? No, this is this roller section. It's coming up soon. I think it's this next double after this next right and left. If you take the inside, I think I noticed it on my warm-up lap. So take this here. I think it was if you hold tight inside, normally you'd have enough speed to hit it. But if you hit this takeoff right here, where it's lower than the rest of it, then you can't actually get all the way over this double. And I just think that's really good. That's just one other thing that you've kind of got to think about as you're riding around and playing. And once you learn your lines and what lines are fast and which aren't quite as fast, and I love that aspect of having to think about what you're doing, which is one of the reasons why I'm not the massive fan of the like the tracks that just have massive booters everywhere, or the tracks that are just fifth gear pinned, like Florida Tracks and Trails, for example, was a good track of where it's just flat out absolutely everywhere. There's not much thought that goes into it. It's just hold right trigger as much as you can and apex the corners to the best of your ability, and you'll do well. Whereas I like tracks like this, where some parts of the track you generally do have to slow down and take your time a bit to go faster. And I don't know what an amazing lap time is on this track. I don't know if I've even done a lap without crashing. I feel like I go into kind of like autopilot when I do these videos. When I'm talking, I don't really think too much about what it is that I'm doing at the time. I just play the game. So I don't know if I've done a lap without crashing. However, my lap time there, 1:45. Set that as like your banker in case I haven't crashed. You might find that I've crashed every lap, and lap time is actually like 1:35, for example. But yeah, going off of the website, Razzle said about 2-minute lap time, so I'm very happy with 1:45. Really, really good. I feel like I am actually adjusting to this this Husky 252 stroke really well as well. Do need to spend some more time on it, so maybe in the incoming videos I'll see if I can ride the 250s a bit more. People always seem to love some two-stroke action. I think we all do, really. No one hates two-strokes, do they? Is that a thing? I don't think it is a thing, but it is what it is. And I think that might do it overall for me. One thing I will say before I go about this track is I really, really hope that this track gets implemented into some race series going forwards, because I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a good racetrack. The road for me so far seems to be going really well. There's obviously that inside rut there seems to be the one that's getting the roughest so far, because I've hit it every lap so far, and what we're on lap 6 right now, and it's still not it's not unrideable by any means. It definitely slows you down a bit more because it makes your bike move about, which is exactly what you want. And I don't think these ruts are built in a way where when you crash and if your bike lands on them funny, your game might crash, which is a big issue that a lot of the tracks have nowadays. But overall, I'm really, really happy with this track. Very impressed by it. Definitely one that I will come back to every now and then when I just fancy having a rip around. By no means is it the most difficult, but I definitely think that it offers multiple lines to go around all the corners on that are viable. And I would love to race this track. I think it's one of those that works for every engine size. I can imagine riding a 125 around here would be fun. And likewise riding a 450 would be fun as well. But yeah, very well done to Razzles. I don't know if it's his first track. I don't want to say it is. He didn't mention anything about that in the description, but I'll actually go and check out his page on MX Bikes Mods actually and see what else he's released, because if they're as good as this, then definitely I'll give them a shot, and you'll probably find that there's a couple tracks that I've probably played already that are by him that I didn't have any idea they were. But overall, that'll do it from me. I hope you have enjoyed this video as always. Please can I ask that you do drop a like on the video. I know I ask every video, it does mean something, it's not just asking for the sake of it. I know that YouTube have hidden the amount of likes now, but it still does its magic in the background where it spreads the word out to more people. More people see the video, more people get to the channel, and in turn it means that more people might get involved in the MX Bikes community, which is always a good thing as well. And just thank you in advance very much for that, and subscribe, sorry, tongue twisted there, to the channel if you're new. I post almost every single day, multiple games. We've also got MX versus ATV Legends coming up in the future. We've got MotoGP coming up at the end of this month, so all good exciting stuff. Overall, that'll do it from me. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is that you're up to, and until you catch you guys in the next video, peace.
Got bad shit all up in my mind right now. Fuck it, give me a minute and I'ma let it all out. I don't give a shit about an opinion, be another dimension when I wake up. Bitch, it's time to fill the cup. Got no fucking love, I feel so stuck on my luck. Get fucked.